They're mad in Moorhead. Some parents are fuming over the school district's sudden switch on face mask requirements for the start of fall classes. Students, teachers, and staff will now be required to mask up in all Moorhead school buildings.
The school board members voted 5-1 last night to reverse their original plan to not have universal masking, and they then got an earful from some moms and dads.
I am just incredibly frustrated that they wait until 1 week before school starts and then change their mask mandate. They're my children. They do not belong to the school district. I get to make choices for them.
For some parents, it's now a race against the clock to decide if they will pull their kids from Moorhead schools and put them somewhere else.
Now, Moorhead is offering an online learning option for a limited number of students, but the deadline to sign up has already passed. Meanwhile, face masks will not be required in East Grand Forks public schools, for now anyway. The superintendent says it was a tough decision for the board after the high number of calls and emails that he received on the topic.
He says it's a fluid issue which could change quickly, and he'll continue communicating with public health officials. We do have a link to that school board meeting at valleynewslive.com. Just click on this story. A Moorhead man is now calling for the resignation of a school board member after she opted not to stand for the Pledge of Allegiance at the start of that board meeting.
He says last night wasn't the first time that Cara Glow stayed seated during the pledge.
And it is disgraceful and it is disgusting, with me being a military veteran and for all who has stand and stood and fought for this flag, and some had paid the ultimate sacrifice and price.
However, board member Matt Villan is defending Glow's choice. He says he does not agree with what she's doing, but says it is her right.
There's no comment yet from Glow, but there's quite a lot of discussion about this on our Valley News Live Facebook page. Dozens of people have piled on, debating the issue of whether an elected official should stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. The Recall Fargo School Board group says they likely have enough signatures necessary to trigger another election. They met last night at Island Park and say they'll release those numbers at tonight's school board meeting.
The plan is to walk into the meeting with all of those signed petitions, sharing the news with board members that their spot on that board is not secure. Now, we do plan on being at that school board meeting. We'll keep you updated on all the latest developments.
Let's get a check now of our first alert storm team forecast. It's a first alert weather day, Lisa, and my goodness, when we got in, we were all talking about the thunder and lightning.
Yeah, you know, it woke a lot of us up, I think, this morning in the Southern Valley. And for some of us, we've got more on the way for today. So we saw one round move through, still dealing with it, in fact, this morning, and another one coming our way. So the severe part of this storm has moved very quickly to the south and east. It's currently blasting through the Twin Cities. You can see that bow echo with likely some very strong winds associated with it. And it's quieting down now in the valley, though there are places still getting some rain and thunder. And as we take a look, you can see it's southeast of Sisseton, southern parts of the Traverse County area. There's Wheaton right there, and some lighter rain up toward Fergus Falls and the Wahpeton Breckenridge area and back over by Bemidji. But this has mainly been moving on. We've been quieting down in Fargo Moorhead. Grand Forks has had a quiet night and morning the entire time. And then there's some rain and thunder starting to develop in the northwest. And in Rock Lake, we've got a long line here of some heavier rain and a lot of lightning developing there in Towner County. So moving through that part of our viewing area and approaching Devil's Lake, another storm that's been popping up. And this is going to be the focus for the potential for some more severe weather coming later today. Otherwise, looking pretty quiet, or starting to quiet down out there right now, I should say. Here's a look outside. This is down at the Dakota Magic Casino in Hankinson. It's been a rocky morning for you there. You can see starting to look a little bit quieter, starting to clear out those clouds a little bit, but you can see it's still unsettled with some of these towering clouds as well. Fargo's at 66 degrees. We have some breaks in the clouds at the Fargo Moorhead area. Grand Forks more under some cloud cover at 62. A thunderstorm in Bemidji at 59, and it's clear and sunny in Langdon at 54 degrees. And again, Northern Valley going to be more on the unsettled side heading into the later part of the day. Winds are breezy behind this system. We've got some gusts into the 20s to some 30s. So again, today we're looking at some breezy weather coming our way. And in addition to that, the potential for more strong storms popping this afternoon. They'll be isolated, not as coverage will be less than this morning. We'll see some areas where we're looking at some isolated rain and thunder north especially, but even in the south, there's a chance we could see it there too, where we've got warmer temperatures today, upper 70s to some low to mid 80s in that area. Northern Valley, we're looking at more into the 60s and some 70s for highs. So first alert weather day again today. As we look ahead into the rest of the week, Wednesday, Thursday, and big days for heading back to school for a lot of students. Wednesday right now does look quieter. We will see the potential for an isolated shower too, potentially Wednesday, but I do think it'll be a lot quieter. Thursday looks pretty good too until we get into the later part of the day where we see a chance for some storms, and that will lead into Friday as well with another first alert weather day and more active weather into the weekend. So chances, opportunities at getting some rain, but we're having to put up with more severe weather to go with that as well. So a very active week continues, and it's still continuing even as we speak this morning.
So maybe put the raincoat on the kids as they head out for the first day of school.
They'll want it at least at some point this week, I think, for most students.
Thank you, Lisa.
Police are now searching for a missing man from Ellendale, North Dakota. 62-year-old Everett Rains was last seen leaving his home around 9 Sunday morning. He was driving a white 2002 Ford F-250 pickup with North Dakota plates 359 CBW.
Police say the pickup has a ratchet strap on the right side holding the tailgate shut. He left without his cell phone and medication and may become disorientated without his meds. If you see him or his vehicle, call Ellendale Police or your local law enforcement. As kids walk and bike to school, it's extremely important that they take the proper safety precautions.
And most accidents that happen can be prevented by paying extra attention on everyone's part. The Valley Today's Brian Sherrod, he joins us live this morning with more on what you need to talk to your children about so everyone stays safe. Good morning, Brian.
And good morning, Jordan and Lisa. I'm not alone. Of course, I'm here with Officer Todd Pearson to talk all about safety as well. Thank you for being here with me this morning. One of the biggest topics we can talk about is definitely online safety when it comes to these phones. So a lot of parents can probably contest to that. Talk a little about why kids need to be more cautious when being online and using these phones.
You know, when we talk about getting online, there's great information. You can go anywhere in the world and see anything. Well, that can also be vice versa. Anybody out in the world come into your world. So you have a window into your house. So you need to be very careful who you're inviting to see you and to see your house and to share your information with them. We always want to keep as much information as private and be careful out there. Just like on phone calls, there are scammers out there. There are also people out there on the internet that are up to no good also.
I know the biggest thing is social media and people who could write you on there but you don't know. Why is it important not to respond to those people?
There's the possibility of making fake accounts. You truly take the steps to make sure that you know who you're talking to. Maybe have some extra passwords when you're visiting with somebody. And remember, if you're sharing information, what you put out there, it stays out there. We're not able to retrieve that back. So be careful with what type of information you do put out there.
And what should parents be looking for when it comes to their kids' social media account? I know a lot of kids don't want to have to share that information, but what should they be doing?
They don't want to share, but it's so important that they do. These predators, scammers out there, they're very good at what they do. It's pretty easy to get roped into that. So just explaining that you're just trying to protect them, you're not trying to get involved in all their social activities, but you want to make sure that they're protected. So sit down with them, have that opportunity where you can go through their phone, take a quick look through things and see if you see anything that catches your eye or any red flags that pop up, and just have that trusting conversation.
That's a good plan. Thank you so much for being here with me this morning. And Jordan and Lisa, I'm going to toss it back to both of you in the studio.
Brian Sherrod reporting live for us this morning. Thank you.
West Fargo parents can breathe a little easier this morning after bus drivers for the district say they won't leave students without a ride to school. Concerns surfaced last week when the district sent an email telling parents that they need to come up with a backup plan to get their kids to school.
Bus drivers are now clearing the air, saying they never said they would not show up to work. They say they are, however, asking for an increase in wages, something they've been doing for years.
Let's get the answer now to our question of the morning on Facebook. That question today is, according to a new survey, 32% of people say they haven't used this in over a month.
The answer, used cash money. Just plastic, I guess. You can play along every weekday by heading to our Valley News Live Facebook page.
The Today Show and CBS This Morning are just about to start, but the Valley Today, it rolls on. We continue to track that weather coming up on the Fargo CW.